Imagine, you're on your getaway vacation in Florida at the most perfect time of the year. You begin to consider all the leisurely activities that you may take part in during your limited amount of time. Whether that's going to a golf retreat, enjoying your time outdoors, or even going to the beach, relaxing, listening to music, reading a book, or even going to Disney World, spending time with family and friends. You want to enjoy as much time as possible. And after this long, exhausting, yet fun days, you're more than eager to head back into your car and get back to where you are, whether it's your hotel or your house. You're more than eager to get home. But as you get into your car, hot, the burning scorching heat melts onto your face. You then back away. And as you come back, hot, the leather seatbelt burns onto your thighs, sizzling all the way up until the top of your shoulders. You then reach for your seatbelt. Hot, the metal brands onto your hand. And then you sit down and grab the steering wheel. Hot, the leather burns you yet again. Now, I don't know about you, but I know third-degree burns are not the best way to end your day. Now, if you're one of the few who are somewhat prepared, you're busily hassling with the inconvenience and bulky foil sunshades that are already in the market. As you can see here, putting this in, taking this out, folding it, retracting it, putting it back together, it's too much of a hassle, and we don't really want you to waste your time. Solar Touch would like to create and implement a solution with new technology that offers protection for the driver from the sun. And as you can see here from our prototype, with an almost invisible base at the bottom of the dashboard, with the pull technology of banner light, it would hook up to the top behind the rear view mirror and pull down. As simple as that. With over 224 survey interviews and up to 35 in-customer interviews, we have seen that 88% have voiced that this is a problem, especially in the South. While on the other hand, 70% have voiced that they would be interested in the car sunshade.
As for our target market, we plan to target those in the South, but for our location-wise, we plan to have our test market in the Chicagoland area. So during our validation process, we decided to talk to people who live in the South. So one of these people is Ryan Kagan. He is a golfer at Florida Gulf Coast University. So he was telling us about how it takes 10 minutes for his car to completely cool down, even with the AC blasting. And when it's 90 degrees in Florida, it's over 100 degrees in the car. We also talked to a car dealership in Arizona, Mike T. He told us he sells about 180 sunshades per year at his location alone, which shows that there is a market for Solar Touch. So if your validation means in our survey processes, we made many changes to our business model canvas. So first, we changed the problem. We had too many problems at once, from the cracking dashboard to the cracking leather seats, and now we have honed it down to the heat problem. We have also changed our customer base. We were first targeting luxury car owners, but now we're just targeting people in the South, where Solar Touch will be in need. And lastly, we changed our solution. We had this originally a button touch technology, now we have simplified it to a sleek, retractable technology. As for our two competitors, these are our two biggest direct competitors. So we have WeatherTech. So they have tried to tackle the problem of the hassle of the current kind of sunshade with like a stick on, stick off, but eventually just still pulling it on and taking it off day after day. And then Covercraft is your typical foil sunshade that Jake was showing earlier, where you fold it to keep it stored, you put it on, take it off. This hassle is something we hope Solar Touch will solve. As for indirect competitors, we gather this from our survey responses and our personal experiences. So we have our basic towel, which you just put on your seat to protect yourself from burning. We have parking in a tree, which I can attest, parking in the morning, fighting for a tree spot is nearly impossible. We have our tinted windows, which work but can only work to an extent. And then lastly, we're just blasting the AC. And like Ryan said, blasting AC does not help at all. So what makes us different? So we are effective. We plan to have our sunshade protect our car from 99% of heat. We also have a modern touch, so no more of the aluminum foil shade, but more of a sleek design. And lastly, and most importantly, we are hassle-free. No more putting it on, taking it off day after day. We'll just have it on the dashboard like a minimal design. We'll clip it in to prevent it from falling. As for our total addressable market, at $30 per sunshade, we have a market of $34 billion. So we got this from focusing on the number of car users in the United States. We narrowed it down by income. And we narrowed it even more with people who have car heat problems, which we gathered this number from our survey responses. As for our serviceable addressable market, we have $117,000. So we focused on Chicago and the area. We further narrowed it down by income. We narrowed it down by interest, and lastly, we put it by the percent of people who already own a sunshade. And lastly, we have our market share at $40,000 with hope of selling 470 sunshades in our first year. So we further narrowed this down by looking at the 12% of people who already own a sunshade and the 1% market share. We weren't able to find any numbers specifically pertaining to this, so it was our best estimate knowing that there are many competitors for our product.
So to break down what our marketing plan is, for the next 6 months our main focus is growing our brand and spreading our name in the Chicagoland area. The reason that we want to do this is because we're looking to launch locally as a bit of a test launch in the summer of 2019 and then launch nationally in our target marketed areas in the summer of 2020. So the first way we've been going about spreading our name is through social media. At this point we have both a Facebook and Twitter, and we have plans of making an Instagram in the future once we have more prototypes and pictures to show. We also recently launched our website, Solar Touch, and we are looking to utilize that to get people on our email list, and also in the future getting people to pre-order and to order directly off the website. Here is a look at how we plan on advertising. We're looking to use Facebook ads. It's one of the cheapest and most efficient ways. What we're going to do with that for this next 5 months is in the Chicagoland area, as you can see this right, we will be doing a 50-day promotional program that's going to be at $2 a day that'll reach on average 50 to 250 people. The advertisement will look very similar to the picture that you can see right there in the center, and this will over time really spread our name in the Chicagoland area for our launch. So for our minimum viable product, what we're planning on doing to start is rigging a spring-loaded roller that would typically be found using shades or in an old map, and filling it with aluminum foil. What this will show is it'll give us a good idea of how we're actually going to be manufacturing and building our product, and it will also just kind of teach us what we're going to be needing to look for in the design process. So what we're requesting from you today is $250, and that will break down into these different categories. First off, prototyping material. That's going to be coming at $100. That's for us to figure out all our prototyping among these next few months. We also want to buy competitors' products so that we can make sure we shape up as far as efficiency works. For our social media plan, we're looking for 50 days at $2, so we want $100 for that. And lastly, our website URL, www.solartouch, that we're looking to invest in, that's going to be $20 a year. So our timeline for these next few months is that in January, we're looking to get this minimum value product made. In February, we want to have a good working prototype. By March, we want to start our social media advertising plan. In April, we're going to start working with some local dealerships, prepping for our local launch, and we're going to start website pre-orders. And in May, we're going to be preparing for our local launch.
At this point in the presentation, around 9 minutes in, this would be the amount of time it takes for your car to cool down. Not even completely, just a little bit. Chicago's hottest day of the year is how the South feels every single day of their lives. Solar Touch has the potential to enhance and simplify the life of others. We want you to progress with us, to make every moving moment as effortless as possible, to keep up and maintain your fast-paced lifestyle. Thank you.
Can you explain again how it
Yeah. So essentially, this would be, we have an invisible base at the bottom, as we saw in the diagram, and it would be a pull-up technology. So on the windshield at an angle, it would go up and hook up to the back of the rear of the mirror. And essentially, we're still considering whether we want to keep a hook or even use it in a hook inside of the car already, since putting the hook in is something we thought about and we're still looking into with our structure. But simple close.
How does it fix to the dashboard?
So what we've been looking to do, and that's something that we're still figuring out, is pressure rods, tension rods, similar to like what we use in the shower. We've been looking at seeing if that is something that we can do, and we've been talking to some engineers and people in the car industry to figure out if that's something, once we start prototyping, that's something that we'll be testing. Obviously safety is a huge concern, so we have to make sure in the event of an accident that's something that's safe. We've also talked about having a flat surface be stuck down to it, to the dash.
Bear in mind, there's a wide variety of different types of vehicles with the running shield, so that might be tricky.
But I did want to say, really good job, guys, especially how gracefully you handled the presentation issue at the beginning. Very impressive. I would kind of question on, the problem that you guys are solving. As you look at existing offerings on the market, what's the major pain point with the existing offerings in the mind of the consumer? So not from your guys' perception, but if you talk to folks that are using the examples that you brought up today, what's their biggest frustration with those solutions? And then for all the folks that aren't using the solution at all, so non-consumers, why are they not buying a solution, right? There could be a range of different issues. It could be ease of use, it could be storage size, it could be cost, it could be that heat's not an issue, right? And so if you're trying to appeal to the folks that are already buying and solving something that is very painful, or if you're trying to appeal to the folks that haven't consumed for a distinct reason, then you can design a product that's really meeting a pain point. So anyway, that's kind of the sense I got, and maybe you've done some research, maybe you understand sort of the key problems. I'd love to hear it if you
Yeah,
have.
so what we found is that out of the people that do own sunshades, there are a good amount of people that are frustrated by how much of a hassle it tends to be. It's not easy. You consistently have to fold it up. This one that we've gotten is one of the best designs as far as some of them, a million different folds, a million ways to put it together and take it down. So what we're looking to do and what really sets us apart is the ease of use. It's going to be an easy slide up, clip in. And what it does is it cuts down on time wasted.
So, and have you also tested or surveyed or spoken with consumers that haven't purchased but also feel the pain? And why do they not purchase one of the existing solutions?
So I think that's a good question. There's a couple reasons. With people in the more northern areas, what we found is that it's not as big of a problem. They have to deal with the heat and the pain, as you say, for 2-3 months or so, those hot summer months. What we did find that we didn't totally know going into this is that this is a much more common thing in those southern areas. People are much more frequently using these, or if they're not, it's crucial that they're parking under a tree or only parking indoors. So this is definitely a pain point for people in our target market that they need to be addressed.
Well, being from one of those warmer climes, I've probably purchased through my lifetime somewhere between 20 and 25 leases. Because every car that I have has always had one. And the issue that you have with them is that every car is different. Along the back of your dashboard is basically your defrost vents and your heat vents. I would tell you that's going to be an issue you have to address. Of course, when you're parking your car, it's not running. The ease is actually an issue. I would suggest maybe in your design is not to look at something you pull up, but may go side to side and make it just as easy. The reason people don't buy them is not so much the heat or the hassle or even the expense. It's that they just don't see it as an important issue. There's a reason that a lot of car interiors in Texas are not black. Just to let you know. And they also basically lower their windows on the driver's side, the passenger side, a half an inch, maybe an inch at most, just to let the air escape. For a lot of folks, it's just not an issue. Me being a car guy, it's an issue. I preserved my 2003 Marauder baby for a reason. It's got a sunshade. And by the way, I never park it outside. So
Certainly not underneath a tree, that's.
never under a tree. You do not want horse sap on your paint job, especially if you just had it detailed. So anyway, it's an interesting problem. I'd like to see what you actually come up with your design. I'm looking forward to see what you come up with. It is something I'm always interested in because I'm a car guy. So looking at car enthusiasts, looking at high-end cars, I get you. And I would continue to look at those folks. The main issue you're going to have, though, is the variety of the design and the fact that you have this vent and this dashboard issue that's different in every single car. So look forward to seeing what you come back with next.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just on your MVP, on your ask for the money, you had like the purchasing the prototyping materials. You're going to have to not just do two, right? You're not gonna try to do two tries. You're gonna have to, you know, buy a number of things and try 4 or 5, you know, 8 different types of configurations and tests. So you might, I don't know whether it'll change your numbers that much. Maybe the materials you buy are gonna be cheap, but it's not gonna be 2 attempts.
Right, okay,
Design.
yeah, that's it.
And along those lines, to build on that, I don't think I would spend any money on competitors' products.
Okay.
I'm not sure what you're trying to get out of that. I think everybody has seen the sunshine, you know what you're trying to do. Focus on solving the problem, not, you know, you don't need to physically touch and hold what they're doing. You know, to what he's saying is I'd reinvest that money in your prototyping and go that way.
The last comment I would have is, or maybe question is, have you looked into comparable products that also serve vehicles? So you mentioned WeatherTech. Think about how they're selling their product. Are they going direct to consumer? Are they partnering with dealers? Are they going to retailers? Right. So if you look at a lot of comparable products and the way that they're selling their products, the channel strategy, it might give you some insights into how you can utilize a similar channel strategy and sell more volume.
So we've looked at the direct competitors, so it's a lot of direct online, so they've been selling in like 60 different sizes, so that's an issue that we are going to run into when we try to do our MVP, you know, if there's different sizes on cars, because there's too many sizes online that they don't really sell in stores. More like it's more just buying online based on what year, make, and model of your car.
Plan for channels is pretty similar to what you'd see from either of those 2 competitors. What we're looking to do is partner with dealerships and be selling through there, and also be selling directly through our website.
By the way, the founder of WeatherTech is local. And I think if you asked him, I think the vast majority of his sales are not D2C, they're not direct to consumer and online. So considering he's local, it might be a good idea to pick his brand.
1 minute.
One other thought about, you know, a sunshade is a sunshade. We talked, you know, we've seen in the market, it's just something that solves a problem for a certain niche market. I think what may help you and what maybe we'd like to see in the future would be something, put a story behind this where maybe you're using sustainable materials to make this, to create a story where, hey, this is an underserved community that manufactures this, and maybe there's something there that you can have a story behind it. Selling something is, you know, it may be exciting to you, but to the general population, maybe it's a sunshade. I need it, maybe I don't, you know, I don't think about it until I drive, right? So having some sort of story behind it may help be able to boost more community behind it.
Thank you guys.